Creating Change is a course that began because we were interested in having students engage in projects outside the university and have opportunities to address these large issues that are changing all of the world around us.
The Creating Change is a course that is both graduate and undergraduate, and it's designed for students to work within the community, both in Albuquerque and beyond into the Southwest region.
Pretty much as a collaborative group think and response in art and ecology. And I think all of the professors are people who are very concerned about how we cultivate learning communities that foster engaged participation in our world.
And we each wanted to teach in a way that reflects our own practices in collaboration, as well as very hands-on project-based assignments that relate to partners in the community outside the university as well as in. So a key focus for the class was collaboration.
When I teach, as I did in Creative Change, my interest is in giving students the tools to really think about themselves as change makers, as artists. And so whether it's a clay artist or a filmmaker or somebody who does community planning but also likes to do visual arts, one of the exercises that I had the students do in Creating Change was a response to a national arts and climate change, climate justice project called Coal the Musical. And this is a project that I've been heading up for the last year and a half. And the project is based on the idea that let's take an all-American form like the American musical, which is sometimes really goofy, and pair it with something like climate change, which is often extremely depressing and overwhelming, and actually most people kind of freeze in the face of it. But there's no question it's kind of the hugest thing we're dealing with, and every social issue we care about is going to be tremendously much more difficult as we continue to deny or distance this thing. So coal really is about fossil fuel that we're very dependent on, that has tremendous consequences, and it's a global issue. So we thought, how do you take mythical storytelling and humor and music and make something that people can respond to? So that's the premise of the project, and the way the project works is that we tell the story and then community groups respond. And we did video responses with the UNM students in Creating Change, and it's a difficult task because what you have to do is encounter the story, and then you have to do a personal inventory of what do I believe, what do I care about, and how do I articulate that. That is very difficult work, and each one of the students did that, and then we videotaped them, and so they helped, and they gave feedback on it. So in a way they really helped us grow the project and became a critical part of the community of coal, and so they're participating in a very important way in how this National Arts and Climate Project goes forward.
The main project that I was involved in was in collaboration with the University of Texas, El Paso, where we drove down to El Paso. It's a border town in Texas, right on the border between El Paso and Juarez. And we worked with the University of Texas El Paso Art Museum on a project integrated with the ICEA 2012 Symposium. Two artists from Mexico City, Ivan Puig and Andre Padilla, came to Albuquerque with a project called SEFT, and it's a custom designed car that travels both on railroads, rails, and on highways. And this car was designed to kind of address the issue of the decommissioning of the railroad, both throughout Mexico and in the United States. So Ivan and Andres drove this car from Mexico City and stopped in El Paso. And while they were in El Paso, they set up an exhibition at the University of Texas, El Paso. Our students from Creating Change came down from Albuquerque, met Ivan and Andres, and collaborated with them on a response exhibition to their work. And specifically, the students were responding to the idea of technology and obsolescence. What are the social and environmental implications of various developing technologies? What technologies are kept and what technologies become obsolete and why. So the students address these issues in 4 or 5 small groups, and then we put together an exhibition and a performance at the University of Texas El Paso Art Museum. So that was one way in which the students could engage with the contemporary art community and the community at large in addressing this idea of creating change.
A lot of the types of exchanges that artists rely on each other for in their everyday work. So I wanted to focus on that as a type of action for creating change. So a place where artists have a role in political and economic activism. And within the course, we set up a small Skillshare event in which each person brought their survival skill. So they thought of one skill that is their own, that they consider a survival skill.
Change is a class that's open to students from all disciplines throughout the university. And these students come together, they contribute their skills in a variety of different areas.